Welcome to Feline Forensics in the Meowseum Mystery. God, that was hard to say. I do not know much about this game. I think it just came out, so I'm excited to give it a go. It told me I should be playing it on controller, which I've never done a detective game in controller before, so that's interesting. Another long day. Street lamps are already on, and I haven't been in my office yet. I should check my computer. I'm sure I have at least a few emails waiting by now. Although, if it's the commissioner volunteering me for more debriefs, I'll have to put my paw down. I love it, the fact that it's like speaking like portrait is so different from his like little um what do you call it? 2D sprite. It's very cool. Um, all right, let's see if this old litter box still works. Don't piss on your computer, my friend. I just need to log in. And, it won't take my password. Suddenly, here has my whiskers twitching. This might turn into a regular investigation. I'll start tracking all my leads on this bulletin board in case I need to reference them again. Oh, so we've already got a little bulletin board, eh? The unknown. Oh, and it's a little laser pointer, isn't that cute? The unknown password. If I changed it, I certainly would have written it down on a note and put it in my desk. All right, well, let's have a look in the desk, eh? Let's see, what should I take a look at? Let's look at the desk. It's possible I just wrote the password down and threw it in my desk drawers. Okay, not in the top drawer. Surely it'd be in the bottom drawer. Aha, this must be it. Wait, no, this is just a standard department business card. Following procedure requires I enter it into evidence, but unfortunately this might be more serious than it seems. Alrighty, let's have a look at this evidence in that case then. A business card I found in the drawers of my office desk. There's a business card printed on quality paper, although aged is within the once white sheen to yellow. On the card depicted in black ink is the department logo and general information such as the office address and phone number. Oh, okay. Yeah, Philadelphia. 555 Meow and 555 Perfect. 1994. So fax is still a thing, so it must not be much after 1994. Maybe it is 1994. We're back in the 90s. Let's look at the phone. I could call the department secretary for help if they haven't already gone home for the day. Let's see, what should I look at? And let's finally look at the computer. Nothing's changed, my computer's still locked. I probably shouldn't try the password again until I'm sure I know what it is. Alright, well that's everything at the desk. Anything else we can take a look at? The catch tree? Nope. So perhaps the information is... All I found in my desk was an old business card, but I'm not sure how helpful that's going to be. I guess I could give it a second glance. So let's have a look at it again, eh? Maybe we could try Feline... Oh, let's look at the back. There we go. Emergencies only. Extension 1029. Oh, of course. I knew there was something else here. Why didn't I think to flip over that business card sooner? The extension written here belongs to the department manager. Luckily, I would classify this as emergency. I should give them a call immediately and let them know what's going on. 1029, eh? Let's see, what should I take a look at? The phone. Now that I have the department manager's extension, I can give them a call about my computer. Good evening, detective. I hope this is important because I'm in the middle of dinner with my family. Apologies, but we might have a security issue. My computer's password is inexplicably changed. I had to break this news to you, detective, but the inexplicable is in fact quite explicable. If I do recall, this is the second time this week you've interrupted my wife's delicious home-cooked meal. I'm sorry. From what I could gather, you were on another milk-fueled binge. Oh, this reminds me so much of our bit, Quantum PI. Through speech, you told me you'd change your own password. And this is the part where I'm so embarrassed you tell me the password, correct? I would consider, but you also informed me that you hid it somewhere. Somewhere that only a detective of your caliber would be able to find. So get on with it and ensure that not a single report on this matter is out of place tomorrow. And let me reiterate while you're in your right mind. Do not call me again unless it is a real emergency. Click. I think if I had just forgot my password, this wouldn't be as humiliating. Either way, not my proudest moment. I can make up for that, even if I am technically this crime's primary suspect. Retracing my steps, following the proper timeline, and correcting any inconsistency in the case note will be paramount. Case notes, even. Why am I speaking so weirdly? Without the current password, he can't unlock the computer in his office or check his email. The detective left his office late last night, and at some point after the Titan network was hacked. The next day, the detective attempted to log into his office computer but found that the password had been changed. So we can't enter anything interesting now, but we can go into this. How can I dispute this with testimonies? The department manager. I see. That makes sense. The department manager did confirm that nothing was hacked. Embarrassingly, just a bit too much indulgence on my part. That being said, I've only got a rough outline from here, and I won't settle for anything less than perfection. It's time to thoroughly investigate the rest of my office and use my journal to fill in every blank necessary. Alright, did you know that you can rotate the camera to look around too? Or if you need to get press the zoomies button. Neat. Ooh, we've got a whole board back here. Let's go. And a map even. It's my own map of historic Philadelphia. But I don't remember all these thumbtacks in it. Yeah, what did I do? They're each holding a thin sheet of paper to various addresses in the city, but no one seems more important than another. I think it might be impossible to know where to go with this lead until I have more clues. Well, I'm assuming that you're the one that set it up, so why did you do this? Let's see what we can find over here. The cat tower. One may ask themselves, why would any self-respecting feline investigator keep one of these demeaning furniture pieces in their professional office? It was a gift from some old co-workers who thought they were being exceptionally humorous, but do you use it though? That's the question. Do you scratch on it? Also, it keeps my claws properly managed, and sometimes it helps me think. Let's see what we can find over here. The filing cabinet. I have a few of these cabinets to keep track of all my previous cases. Oh, of course it's not unlocked. These records are pretty confidential. Wait, I don't lock these, not since I kept misplacing the key. I'm certain this is significant. I might have put my password in here, or at the very least another clue. Let's see what we can find over here. Nothing apparently. We can't investigate the filing cabinet. What's in here? Is there something over here to investigate? The bookshelf. That's the word. The bookshelf. This shelf is absolutely packed with different tomes, journals, studies, and the occasional novelization. If I had some sort of clue in one of these books, it would take me far longer to find it than it's worth. I wouldn't put it past myself, but I don't have anything to go on here. Is there something over here to investigate? The filing cabinets. These are usually just for keeping contracts, reference documents, and various policy paperwork. I can't imagine I would have slid a note with the password on it into this mess of a drawer. Even under a strong influence of dairy, I wouldn't have done something so reckless. Is there something over here to investigate? The trash can. When you need to dig up the truth, you gotta act like an alley cat. Empty milk carton. Commonly clean fish spoons. Used yarn ball. Very cartoony. None of these look very helpful. Wait a minute. There's a crumpled receipt and it looks like I've redacted most of it. Nothing about the actual purchase remains, and only the store's address is left visible. Where could this lead me? No, we've loaded all of those, but maybe we can go back to the map now. We've also got a little certificate over here. We got some, ashes smoldering on the, what have we been smoking? Some catnip, perhaps? Let's go investigate, shall we? Let's see. Okay, we cannot look at the catnip just yet. And we can't look at a little red board as well. I think I've looked at no, I've not looked at the plant. It's possible I hid the password within the potting soil of this plant. Is that a lilac? However, until I have a compelling reason to believe that, I'm not willing to make a mess of the hardwood floor. Okay. Well, we probably have everything that we need to actually solve it. Ah, right. We need to look at the crumpled address to actually be able to get that evidence. So let's have a look at that. Most of the information in this receipt has been redacted, which is not a normal practice for detectives such as myself, and especially not for consumers. The only elements left visible in our address, 13 North 2nd Street, presumably for the store, and a string of numbers, presumably to identify the item internally. Let's have a quick look, shall we? No, never mind. We can't look at it. It doesn't let us. So there we go. Ismail map. Let's put each having its route right. The crumpled receipt did ever do. It was 13 North 2nd Street. I don't recall what's around here, but the slip of paper does have a phone number written on it. Looks like it's time to make another call. Alrighty, let's do that in a minute, but firstly, let's have a look at my little thing. Right. Detective left his office late last night solely after finding himself at the milk bar downtown, imbibing on the finest dairy a cat PI could buy. After returning to his office, the detective changed his computer's login information before it was locked to the memory of a lactose stupor. Having successfully laid his plot and proud of his mastermind scheme, the detective called the department manager for finally retiring for the evening. We're being too full of ourselves. I think that's a theme of the detective games that we play, isn't it? We're always too full of ourselves. But let's call this phone number. Let's give the number I found on the map a call. Hopefully they're still open and they can make sense of this receipt. Good evening, I'm Bookgator on 2nd. What can I do for you? Of course, the local bookstore. How could I forget? Sawyer, did you need help with anything? Hello, yes, sorry. I do, actually. This might be an odd question, but I have a receipt and I'm not sure what it was that I purchased. I've been expecting your call, Detective. Of course you were. Care to explain why? You stumbled in, disgruntled after an argument, with his dubious plan. I didn't ask questions, but you warned me this call was likely. Oh dear. Now about that book. Please tell me it's not something terribly inappropriate. Huh, not quite, no. The book's title is On the Historical Development of Cat Burglary. Okay, thank you. That'll be all. Sure you don't need anything else, Detective? No, really, it's okay. Thank you. Click. As if I wasn't embarrassed enough as it is. Yeah, we bought something about cat burglary. So let's have the bookcase is there. See if no. The bookcase, thank you. This shelf is absolutely packed with different tomes, journals, studies, and occasional novelization. The clerk said the book in question has something to do with cat burglary, so where is it? Dignity and Domestication by the Great Dane Austen, Les Miserables by Vernon Hugo, Call of the Wild by Jack London. that one didn't change. Okay, more novels than I thought, but hey, these are the classics. Oh, here's the one I was looking for. The question now is, why would I purchase this book specifically? Is there something over here to investigate? Well, can we investigate the book? Is it now in our little thingamajig? Yes. Its title is On the Historical Development of Cat Burglary. It's a dissertation I apparently purchased from the local bookstore and then stashed within the various of the tombs of my office bookshelf. The subject matter seems fairly heavy. Deriving any clues from it might be a challenge. Was that why I chose it in this strange pursuit to out-detective myself? And we got a little cat on the front here in red ink. Let's have a look at the backside, shall we? A tail. What does this say? Studying on the impact of declawing as an early cultural normalcy and the societal repercussions thereof, and henceforth. And a little tail. Okay. Well, what a tail that is. Okay, so we've just drawn a cat on it. Not very helpful, but whatever. The official investigator's journal is provided by the Feline Forensics private detective agency. Correct sections look like this. No need to do anything else. Close sections look like this. You have 2 or fewer incorrect. Wrong sections look like this. More than 2 are incorrect. Unbeknownst to the detective, well, the detective changed the, oh, this is not persons, this is something else. I can changed the password to his computer and hid it inside a book, I'm gonna guess. And hid it inside a book. Oh, what, two or more less? Well, let's change it in a minute. Let's have a look at. We need to do an inspection on this. I don't know where exactly, but surely we just press A until we get it. Ah, there, open. I didn't see that earlier. Don't open. Ah. Great job, detective. There's a little key. Oh, of course, I knew there was something else here. I bought a hollow trick book. No wonder the bookstore clerk was holding back a laugh. With my cabinet key hidden inside, no less. I think we're nearing the end of this case. Good thing the trains will still be running for a little longer. Let's open up the cabinet in that case. Let's see what we can find over here. I got the key now, so let's get this locked cabinet opened up and see what we can find. There's a note right on top. A great change of pace, or maybe I was just getting lazy. There doesn't seem to be any cipher or code either. This just looks like a normal password. I should try it and then make sure my notes are in order. Wouldn't want to attract any more ire from the department manager than I already have. Let's see what we can find over here. Nothing. Alrighty. I like this voice for the detective. I think it fits. Let's see. What should I take a look at? And by sits, I mean fits. I've got the password, supposedly. Now for the moment of truth. Is it possible this has been a red herring all along? Oh, it works. Oh, I would have liked a red herring. I've logged in and I have exactly 0 emails that require my attention. It's a relief, of course, but the department manager will have my fare if I don't get the rest of these case notes in order before I go home. Let's see. Let's do the case notes in that case then. Let's do a little bit of a why. So changed the password to his computer and hid it inside this is not a book, it's a what's the word? Desk, not desk, book, key, phone, password, plant, computer. And locked it inside of a cabinet, I guess. Or a book, key, phone, computer, password, plant. Inside a furthermore, he blinked to the inside. Furthermore, he hid. Let's do this. He hid the key to the. It's like cabinet, right? But phone, computer, password, plant. But we don't have that. The desk. No. Inside a book that the detective recently purchased. Detective recently purchased. So what would be the word key to the... Yeah, I know that this one's wrong. But phone, key, book, computer, password, plant. It's none of those. So yeah. Key to the side A. It'll be Let's investigate this for a second. Maybe this will tell me. Although I've hardly ever used it, it's been the centerpiece of this ridiculous scavenger hunt of a case. The real mystery is how I accomplished shooting all this up under the influence of the milk bar's finest, including hitting it inside a hollow book. In the pursuit of proving I could out-detective myself, I changed my office computer password and hid this reminder behind a series of puzzles and hidden clues. Whether a locked cabinet, a hollow book, a cryptic map of address, or embarrassingly phone calls, it didn't say secret for long. The password is written in newspaper and magazine scraps and reads as 7HEC4TSM30W. Good password. Maybe I'll use it myself. The unknown password. After obscuring my paper trail, I rejected the receipt's details and threw it in the trash. But now that I have everything straight, I should make my records reflect that, especially the department manager demands some accountability. Note to self, after I solved this case, I really need to double check how expensive that book was and return it if I can. I even hid away the key to that cabinet in a hollow book I didn't even know existed. Right. So maybe that will open up that word. Okay, so we just need to change this one. After returning to the office, the detective changed his computer's login information. Before it was locked, the memory of a lactose stupor. Well, you found the password memory. Ah, I see. That makes sense. Of course, the reason for this entire mystery locked up tight in a lone filing cabinet. Luckily, I haven't forgotten about it twice, at least not yet. So now we've got the word cabinet, right. So we can put a cabinet in as my location. There we go. And there we go. Perfect. Alrighty. Well, I've learned how this game works now. Surely we won't have a similar problem in the future. Aha, I knew I was onto something. While a fantastic treat, a night out at the milk bar might cause me more trouble than it's worth. Yeah, I think that you should probably quit while you're ahead. Oh, why is the phone ringing? Could it be the manager already? Hello? Let's see. Why should I take a look at the phone? Obviously, it's ringing. Hello, Feline Forensics private detective. I'm glad to hear you're burning the midnight oil. Commissioner, what do I owe the pleasure? Business, not pleasure. There's been an incident. Private property. They asked for you. I'm sending a cruiser. Why would they ask for me? The officer will fool you in on the way. The case seems pretty involved, but it's still within my jurisdiction. Oh my god. Oh my god, it also looks like I'm so excited about the case on the right there. I'm sure you're aware that if you don't, your license will be on the line. Again. Click. What a ray of sunshine the commissioner is these days. At least we're not seen like as a terrible detective. It's gonna be an even later night than I thought. The first non-terrible detective? I mean, John Morley wasn't terrible, but he wasn't... Oh, that's a spoiler. I shouldn't say that. Even an officer. What we're looking at this time. Oh, detective, no need to be so formal. Although we are headed to a pretty fancy museum, so maybe I spoke too soon, huh? The one on the east side of town? What happened? Sounds like an attempted heist gone sideways. Nobody was able to flee the scene, but an important exhibit has gone missing. Not sure if it was one of the thieves, another visitor, or a staff member, but they said something that might have been a shot in the process. Somebody. Oh dear, let's hope things have been kept under the controlled sense. They made it seem like the scenario was contained, but you'll have to make that call yourself, huh? I don't know much about more than that, but we'll be there soon. And here we are. I told you it wouldn't take long. Always a pleasure. Wish me luck. I have a feeling this is going to be a long night. Good luck, detective. I'm sure everything will go just fine. And I know you like to work alone, but if you need some help in the department, just give us a call on that payphone over there. Oh, we'll see if that's necessary. For now, it's time to get to work. So that's our hint system there. A goose. The plaque reads, Honk, the Herald Angel, by an unknown artist. A wonderful and timeless depiction of Mother Goose's agents of peace. That said, the biblically accurate sculptures are more compelling. Alright, where are those? Can we go see them? Minecraft trees, I see. Someone's gone ahead and carved these. What's the zoomies button? This one, right? No, right button. There we go. Now we've got the zoomies. Alrighty, the Kreinberg Museum. It's the sign for the museum with its namesake Kreinberg and the official logo, illuminated by a few small spotlights. No one would have expected a heist-turned murder. Well, I guess it could be a murder turned heist. These are the kinds of questions I'll need to answer with my expert feline sleuthing skill. Yes, I'm sure it's expertise. My good friend. Have we figured out the detective's name yet? Probably not. I wanted to call him Albert because, you know, of Albert, but... Detective, thank goodness you've finally arrived. I'm the curator of this museum, and the one that called the police. Thank you for coming on such short notice. For crime, there's no such thing as short notice, and a detective must always be prepared to put a stop to it. Yes, well, please work with the utmost efficiency. A catastrophe of this scale could be a disaster. If word got out that our most precious gemstone was stolen, who knows what would happen? How did they steal the gems? Did they get like a forklift or, you know, a big crane with a ladder on it? Not only would the museum's reputation be forever marred, we could be the target of even more hardened criminals. You're understandably concerned, but I assure you I'll sort this out. This is far from my first case. Although my debrief was accurate, there were also an unfortunate murder in the process. Is that right? Oh yes, that punk. I just hate to even think about it. I suppose you should take care of that as well. But in my opinion, the sooner we get the innocent people home, the better. A rushed investigation leads to sloppy work, so I can't promise this will be quick or easy. Regardless, I trust you will do your best, and if you keep me posted on your progress, it would be greatly appreciated. Of course, I have several things to discuss if we could. Personal questions. Ask away, detective. Who are you? As I said before, I'm the purveyor of this prestigious museum. Past that, there isn't much more to disclose. Do you have any associations outside your work here? Family, perhaps? Is this vital to solving our case, detective? Otherwise, I request that you inquire no further. It certainly could be, depending on how it continues to unfold. Fine. I do have a family, and I'm currently separated from them over the personal matters. And I can assure you they have nothing to do with the stolen gemstone or the murder, unless you'd like to interrogate them unnecessarily as well. As always, I appreciate the cooperation. Let's move on. I would expect nothing less. Alright, we've got more personal questions that we could ask them. What do you do? I manage the museum's staff, exhibitions, publicity, funding, and well, just about everything. Wouldn't it be easier to delegate some of the work? Well, you see, we simply don't have the extra revenue to accommodate that, really. Okay. Well, incredibly valuable to the human condition. A museum of this caliber is hardly ever profitable. What's a human? Oh, my apologies if this is a sore subject. I simply don't enjoy the idea that one would look at what we do here and assume it's all that easy. It requires hard work and sacrifice, detective. It's not a sore subject, it's a harsh reality. Of course, again, my sincerest apologies. Let's get to another question. I would expect nothing less. Personal, more. Alright, let me provide a brief overview of the layout so you know what you're dealing with. Currently, we're standing in the museum's foyer, which has the only exterior doorway. In the east wing, we have the sculpture gallery, featuring contemporary works. On the west side is where we display works of natural history with geological and pre-civilization origins. The central connecting exhibit is the courtyard just to the north of us now. Further north, we have antiquities, host to several artifacts and art pieces, spanning global cultures and eras. On the second floor, there's only one unique gallery, fine art, typically canvas. Of course, as you investigate, you'll notice there are balconies that look down into a few of the first floor exhibits as well. I hope that's helpful, Detective, but you can always reference the Baruchel map if you get lost somehow. Very helpful, thank you. You mind if I ask a couple more questions before I go? I would expect nothing less. About today's events. Before. Yes. What were you doing? During operating hours, I don't do much except greet visitors, and today was no exception. On days when we're particularly busy, I may mingle and let the guards stand station, but that wasn't the case today. Up until the argument began upstairs, nothing seemed out of place. The guard and I were here having an idle chat. Unfortunate that it couldn't stay that way. Could I ask a few more questions, then? I would expect nothing less. I've lost my southern accent for the bloody cat. During. Certainly. Let's see. The guard and I heard an argument beginning upstairs, but it wasn't an immediate concern to me. I didn't want him to make a scene, but it continued to heat up on his own. Then we had the gunshot moments later. Even with the accompanying sound of broken glass, my instinct was to make sure the guard was safe. I thought she was in the sculpture gallery, but the guard found her in antiquities. Stunned, he called for me, and I ran right over. And it was true. She was frozen solid. Startled by the cacophonous noise. The guard was concerned, of course, but took off toward the blaring alarm. Despite the chaos of it all, I maintained my focus on her. Eventually, I got through. Do you know the first thing she said to me, Detective? Call the police. Immediately looking out for the museum. So selfless, to a fault. I went back to the foyer to do just that, but the tourists and the artists were there, begging that I release the lockdown. I didn't know who was responsible for this mess, so I brushed them off without much opposition and made the call. I see. Let's move on to another topic, then. I would expect nothing less. About today's event, and okay, that's all. He can't tell us about the future. Before we talk to this bear, actually, let's talk to this bear. I don't know. Sometimes I just want to investigate and not talk, you know? Let's have a look at this beautiful artwork. The plaque reads, Water at the Back of the Duck's Neck by John Michael Basquark, even. An excellent and harrowing representation of the weak-footed condition. I don't think I've seen this one before. Good. The plaque reads, The Best Friend of Man by Rene Maparakite. A bowler hat, huh? Not many can make that work. Believe me, I've tried. Is that a cat? Yeah, I suppose. And the plaque reads, Mle Orangutangi by Kostan Kranakuski. The expression of this place is so complex, notes of anger, hints of boredom, and a dash of I really need to itch my nose, and so many more. Alrighty, well, let's stop looking at the art and actually get on with the cash, shall we? Hey, hold it right there. Did you pay admission when you came in? Oh, got you good, didn't I? Little security jokers. Oh, okay, so he's like more... Always good to meet another agent of Lady Justice. Detective, what can I do for you? I'm hoping you can assist my investor. Oh, absolutely. Anything you need at the drop of a hat. Just by answering a few questions by now. I need to be clear that even as the museum guard, you are exonerated here. Of course, I wouldn't have it any other way. Not only am I loyal to the law, I'm loyal to this museum, and the wrongs against it must be righted. Let's start with a few questions, if you wouldn't mind. 10-4, good buddy. Who are you? Not much to brag about in that department, detective. Well, what do you do in your free time? I like to keep up with various TV shows and movies, but don't we all? That's not very interesting. I read a whole bunch too. Talk about boring. I don't think that's boring. Honestly, I wish I had the time for more of that kind of thing. I used to say the same thing, believe it or not. But if you don't make time to enjoy things, there won't be much of you left. Just a couple whiskeys and a suit. I mean, let's stay on topic. Do you have any other family, friends? Couple buddies from back in the day, but started to feel like we were worlds apart, you know? Wife at home, but no kids. She has some great friends, longtime friends, and they call me friend. I'm alright with that. I understand. Let's continue on, yes? Absolutely. I'm an open book and full of pictures. Alright, you're easy to read then. Then my favorite type of book. I keep the peace within these memorable walls. A much more manageable scale than I'm sure you'll deal with, detective. On the regular, sure, but for tonight we have that in common. Ha! You got that right. As far as my day-to-day is concerned, we don't really get much commotion around here. Was there a time when the services were more typical? No, I guess not, but we have more people around overall, you see. Hey, if all else fails, maybe this whole debacle will get the museum some attention again. That'll really be something, huh? I suppose anything's possible. Why don't we discuss something else? Absolutely, I'm an open book and full of pictures. That days it is. Got the green to go ahead, detective. What were you doing? As per usual, I was hanging around the foyer having a little chat with the creator. And things especially show, I might take a walk around the exhibit or get some fresh airs, but I was feeling a little more lazy today. Oh boy, that doesn't sound too good, does it? I don't want you thinking I neglected my duties. Thing is, nothing seemed weird. It was a totally normal morning, afternoon, and evening. I understand. So none of the guests acted strangely. We got all walks of life, and I do my best not to judge one way or another, eh? So nah, not so much, and all things considered, this feels like poor circumstances to me, detective. I see. Interesting. Why don't we discuss some more then? Absolutely. I'm an open book and full of pictures. You got the green to go ahead, detective. Oh dear, where do I begin? The curator and I heard an argument upstairs. I was ready to go defuse the situation, but the curator was hoping it was solved itself. I don't quite understand it, but in my experience, artists tend to hold strong opinions, so I trusted the curator's judgment call for a moment. But I made my way into the courtyard when it heated up. The fight was upstairs though, so I just had to keep moving through. A few moments later, a gunshot shattered glass soon after, and I didn't skip a beat. Somehow it's die hard, I guess. Well, I got to Antiquities and found the guys. Stopped her in her tracks. Maybe I should have kept moving, but I had to make sure she was okay. It's admirable, at the very least. I'm sure she appreciated it. You're probably right, but I wasn't actually much help. Nothing I could say had her come to. I called for the curator since there was still the matter of whatever went down in natural history. I got there at about the same time as the podcaster, but she knew just as much as I did, and that wasn't much. The display case was already destroyed, so to save the diamond or the victim, I was too slow, again. If there was anything left to do, it was call the police. Thankfully, the curator was already on the line, and things had mostly calmed down by then. I appreciate the thorough location. Let's move on to something else. Absolutely. I'm an open book. Additional details. Standing by for the inquiry, detective. About the alarm. Oh yeah, well you see, the amazing thing is that it's real smart. It can tell who's who and will do what it's got to do. Real accurate too. Certainly has some downside to it, no? Ah, nail on the head, detective. When it was installed, they told us it was a little slow. It doesn't make mistakes because for a computer it takes its time. Although for a person like you or me, that's still pretty dang fast. It just has to, I don't know, double check I guess. Has a way of being selective, only locking down what's necessary and trying to minimize panic in a chaotic situation. Come to think of it, the actual sound of the alarm was supposed to be one of the more severe stages of lockdown. The old guy who used to work on it could tell you more, but we've never seen it in action before today. Maybe try asking the curator. I think I will, but before then, until I have a few other things to discuss. Absolutely, I'm an open book and full of secrets. I think that's all for you today. We can go back to ask the curator about it. I wouldn't mind picking up a map as well. Oh, detective, I trust the investigation is going well. Of course, I have several things to discuss if we could. No, okay. I can't ask him more about that. That's fine. I like this piece. This is good. This is Vincent van Gogh's Sunflowers. I recognize it. Plot Raised Vase with 15 Sunglasses by Vincent van Gogh. To think that he would go so far as to cut off one of his own ossicles. If only he knew how prolific his art would become. Yeah, exactly. So sad what happened to Vincent van Gogh, wasn't it? Oh, this dead person. Also, alright, this definitely seems to be the epicenter of our case. Looks like the victim there lying on their back, just south of this destroyed display case that stands in the exact middle of the room. Several dotted blood spatters across the floor, along with a few pieces of what appears to be stone debris. Other artwork looks to be unaffected and a witness at the scene. No shortage of places to start, so let's get to it. Alrighty, let's get to it. Oh, this is nice. The plaque reads, Inedity Plateau Cave Painting, circa 6000 BC. Questions like, how could they possibly have transported this cave rock aren't even worth asking. Well, that was what I was going to ask. How did you know? Got a dinosaur. We've also got a lovely looking raccoon over there. I think this is probably the artist. Oh, this has always been the least favorite part of the job. Victim presents male, likely mid-20s in age, 4 facial piercings and wearing a leather jacket. Initial signs saw 2 impact wounds to the back of the head. All things considered, minimal blood loss. Impact wounds, eh? And nothing on his person. No wallet, keys, not even an ID. Poor guy. I'll figure out what happened here, don't worry. Is this the gym as well? This is broken, definitely. This is the pedestal where the stolen gemstone was once displayed. What should I investigate here? The exhibit placard. The placard reads Optimus Diamond, circa 1700. Oh, that's old. Where could you be hiding, precious little son? Like 200 years? 294 years? Roughly? And what was the other thing? The broken case. Seems like a classic smash and grab. There are stones strewn across the floor, so it's possible the thieves used them to break the glass case. I'll put the statue chunk into evidence, just in case I can learn anything from looking it over. Doesn't seem like there are any other incriminating details here, though. Never that easy anymore, is it? Well, perhaps. Or perhaps not. I like this one. This is cool. Anyway, let's stop looking at the ad and chat with this lady. Hey, detective, I just want to say it's like so awesome to meet a real, almost somewhat famous Philadelphian investigator in person. Oh, this is the podcaster. Okay, you guys can't see that, but I don't know a really good other place to put myself, so you'll just have to believe me. No, if I put myself on the left, maybe I put myself up. I don't know. Oh, and I absolutely cannot wait to tell you all about my show. Would you be willing to do an interview? I'm sorry, your show? I'm a true crime podcaster. It's called Tales of the Dark and Desperate. And this episode is all about to go hella viral. Wait. Are you recording right now? No, I didn't bring my equipment. Ah, what an absolute rookie mistake. Like 5 listeners in episode level amateur. By the way, you should seriously subscribe. If your phone on you right, just let me look myself up and hit the button quick. No big deal. I actually don't keep a mobile phone on me. Personal technology will be a distraction to the crime scene. Oh, that is actually so sad. Okay, with things to discuss, let's stay on topic, please. Like, whatever you need, detective. 5 watches an episode, that's basically what I get. Damn, you're as famous as I am, lady. Oh, like, totally! Who are you? Oh, come on, detective, I told you about my podcast. You saying you didn't go and read my bio? If you're not a big reader, watch my daily vlog. That'll give you the general vibe. Well, it wasn't going to be daily, then it was weekly, but now I just kind of post whatever. The last one is pretty old, so I'll be out of date, but apologies, but I'm not going to watch your vlog. So please, if you could provide a brief answer to the question, that would be appreciated. Oh, rude. The least you could do is submit your questions to my word vlog. You can do it anonymously if you want. I'm sorry, but isn't a vlog just a video vlog? So a word vlog is just a normal blog. Actually, never mind. I've learned plenty. Let's change topics. Like whatever you need, detective. What do you do? I have a true crime podcast called Tales of the Dark and Desperate. So make sure you totally obliterate this subscribe button so you don't miss an episode. Make sure to subscribe, washers. Make sure to subscribe. Wait, have I told you about this already, detective? You have. I was asking more about what you do in a professional sense. You're trying to say that what I do isn't professional enough? Ha! Gotcha! Oh, too easy, detective. I work at a coffee shop, but that's like so boring. Punch in, punch out, you know how it is. But after this episode absolutely pops off, I'm going to quit so fast, or at least like quiet quit. I still need health insurance or whatever. Ah, of course. Why don't we talk about something else now? Like whatever you need, detective. About today's events. For sure, for sure. What were you doing? I was mostly just wandering around, but when I got to the courtyard, I saw the tourists had this dope retro camera. We were just kind of going back and forth on old school photography techniques. Stuff like that was huge on Instagram a couple of years ago. Then we got interrupted by that argument. He handed me the camera while he tried to break it up from down here, but they weren't interested in listening. I see. I assume you gave the camera back to him at some point, yes? Oh yeah, for sure, but not right away because things really started getting out of control. Oh, in that case, I've got a couple more questions for you. Like, whatever you need, detective. What happened? Oh my gosh, I remember it so vividly. If only I was recording, my audience really likes authentic audio. That gunshot would give me so many upvotes. Blammo! That's when things really popped off, you know? I couldn't really see much up there, though. And when the guard ran through, he and the tourists were so frantically scattered, I pretty much tuned them out. Besides, we all heard glass break in the next room over, and I needed to get a first account of things. Fame isn't for the fawn hardest, detective. I ran from the courtyard and saw the punk lying there. Seemed like he fell from the balcony. I rushed over to check on him, but he was so dead. And what of the diamond? It was already gone. I explained that to the guard when he came in. Then I guess he went off to go search for it someplace else. I figured with the alarm going off, I wouldn't be able to leave anyway, so just sat tight and waited in here. Okay. I think I have some follow-up questions. Like, whatever you need, detective. Additional details. Only if you subscribe. Just kidding. But actually, subscribe. You mentioned he had already fallen from the balcony above. Did you do any closer examination than that? Why did you ask? Thing is, he didn't have anything on him. Not even a wallet, no ID. Doesn't it seem strange to you? Oh, detective, that's because I, robbed them. Gathered them for you. Ahead of time. So you wouldn't miss anything. Is that so? Tampering with a crime scene can be a serious offense, you know. But it wasn't tampering. It was, assisting. I know about standard procedure, so I just went ahead and did it for you. That's all it was, huh? Lying to an authority of the law is also quite an offense. Okay. I took his stuff because it would have been amazing promo material. Can't blame me for trying to fabricate a viral sensation, detective. And besides, whatever he had been stabbed and I needed to stop the bleeding. That logic doesn't even... You know what? I've got other things to discuss with you and then I'll be on my way. I think that is all, right? Yeah. Alrighty. Yeah, everything. Is this a didgeridoo? Oh yeah, the plaque reads Mammoth Triticus 3000 BC. Ready to decide that how the elephant folk attached to this. Yeah, crazy. It would be so huge. Alrighty. We got a little wolf here. I wonder who this is. Let's guess before we actually chat with them. I reckon this is the tourist. The old timer. Hello? Yes, hello. I'm the... Yeah, know who you are. Fantastic, then let's get started. Well, I'm waiting on you. Get started. Then I'll finally get to go home. Standing on these floors is killer for an old-timer like me. There's a bench just over there if you... I don't need a seat. You think I need some handout from you? Do you know who I am? I didn't mean to offend. I just... Look, detective, get to the interrogation. Whatever you have to do so I can get out of here. Fine, yes, a wonderful idea. Let's just do that. How much longer is this gonna take? This some kind of interview? Who are you? Oh, you really have to ask, huh? Tells me everything I need to know about you, detective. Well, in this case, I am the one who needs to know, so why don't you answer the question or... Anyway. I'm a retiree of the art world, from back when folks respected the craft. I saw success beyond my wildest dreams. I was in galleries, exhibitions, auctions for rates higher than you or your kittens will see in an entire lifetime. Point is, I was at the top, and I was making way for anybody. You had to be cutthroat back then. Don't even get me started on all this crowdfunded. Sir, I do not think... for what reason do you step down from such a high pedestal? Couldn't keep up. Is that what you want to hear? My hand started going first, and then, well, I quit while I was ahead. I see. Well, then let's change the topic. How much longer is this going to take? I think I'm going to do a different voice for him because I think it's too close to my detective voice. What kind of question is that? Are you one of them half-rate gumshoes, detective? That's an offense to... In my advanced age, I don't do much of anything. With my advanced wealth, I don't have to. That's what it means to be retired, not that you would know. I might do some consulting from time to time, or attend an event, but all that chasing tail, that's for the young pups. After everything I've given to the art world, I keep on giving. What do you think about that, huh? Good for you. You won't get it, so maybe start asking some questions with answers you could actually use. What a fantastic idea. Let's do just that. Uh, um, about the museum. What about it? Despite a few amateur misfits, is a respectable institution. And what would you consider a misstep? Don't get me started on how much modern garbage they have on display these days. I understand art can be entirely without business, but there are lines you just don't cross. And betraying the greats by hanging their most prestigious pieces next to these finger painters, that's across the line. Did you ever have any of your pieces on display here in the museum? That's a leading question, detective. Don't believe for a second I don't see what you're trying to do. If you must know, even at my peak, no, the curator refused to exhibit any of my works. There are plenty of other exhibitions, and we've always been on good terms. I don't hold it against them. So don't leave this conversation thinking I've got some sort of vendetta. That would be a ridiculous notion, wouldn't it? Maybe I should ask a different question instead. About today's events. Yeah. Get on with it. Am I a spoken detective? Are you answering my question with a question? The answer is no. I am resolute, firm in my opinions because I know they're correct. I still have yet to see how this ends. There I was with the critic. We were looking over the various pieces in the sculpture gallery. The critic wanted to discuss with the guide, so I let them be. Made my way upstairs into fine art. That's when I saw him, all these disgraceful misuses of canvas, and the punk that followed soon after, looking for a fight. He must have seen me wrinkle my nose at some painting, and well, he didn't know what trio he was barking up. Hey, and what tree was that? An old wizened willow, detective, one that weeps for the ways things used to be. Intriguing, to say the least. I believe I have some more questions, Anne, about today's events. What happened? Of course I remember it like it was yesterday, because it was today. Ha, I got you, didn't I, detective? In fact, it was about an hour ago. How could I forget that? I'm old, but I ain't that old. Heh. That punk wanted to yank my tail, but when I bite back, he must have got scared. Pulled a gun on me. Always knew I had some bite left, and we got into a real scuffle. Took us out onto the courtyard balcony. He threw me into a wall, I swung back at him. He tried to take me out, but his aim was bad. Missed by a mile. Must have been new to it too. The kickback gave me a good chance to disarm him, and then he ran off. The critic came to check on me soon after. I told him I was fine, unscathed in fact. Then the alarm went off, but I didn't have anything to do with that. Well, I'm glad you're alright. Let's discuss something else. How much longer is this going to take? Nothing. No more chatting. Ooh, we got some good paintings here. This is the pointillers in one. The plaque reads A Sunday Afternoon on the Island of La Vierge by Georges Sabat. You don't see this level of decorum these days. It's not close. I wouldn't necessarily say that. I've seen that level of decorum many a time. Oh, this is a Banksy. The plaque reads Love is Litter by Banksy. Artists in the paper of the place. And then the little shredder is the frame, I think. What else have we got? Oh, this one. I like this one. The plaque reads Man's Best Buddy by Keith Haring. Poor Keith Haring. Look at these total normal frames for no implications at all. Yeah, right. I need catnip for brains to think something that outrageous. Yeah, Keith Haring. Sad fate. We've got a Picasso here. The plaque reads Head of a Sheet by Pablo Picasso wearing the cacophony of ramming you inside of us all is quite exquisite. Oh, very nice. Very good words, my good friend. What's this one? I've seen this one before. I can't remember what it's called, though. The plaque reads Composition with Dark Grey, Light Grey, Lighter Grey, White and Yellow by Piet Mandriel. Some might argue that this, in its simplicity, isn't real art. I'm not some people. I'm not some people either. I think it is great art. I know people say that like my 5-year-old could do that, but they really couldn't. Um, I say, what matter of drab fashion is approaching me? Critic. I'm the detective sent to investigate the series of unfortunate incidents. Heavens, you should speak to your department about acquiring better uniforms. This is not a uniform. It's just one of my suits. Are you trying to imply that these are your actual clothes that you purchased with money willingly? I would appreciate if we could get to the questioning now, please. Huh. Oh, relax. I'm a bit of a critic, but I'll do my best not to get in your way. I'd likely take a few jabs at the. How could I not with these shoulder pads? Huh? Why? But no, seriously, I'm on your side here. Don't worry about it. Let's get started, shall we? If you must, don't let me stop you. Usually I charge for this sort of service. Who are you? I'm a collector. I'm a connoisseur. Some will call me a cultural innovator. But that title is just far too garish, even though it is entirely true. And this is what brought you to the museum today? There's some wonderful pieces here that I would love to call my own, but no, I'm not making any purchases. My accountant wouldn't like that very much. Correct me if I'm wrong, but exhibits at a museum aren't usually for sale. Huh. Spoken like a true member of the middle class. Everything is for sale when you have enough money. Am I to assume this applies to you? I've written for the most prestigious organizations. These scales have rubbed up against the best of them. You should consider yourself blessed I'm not more offended that you would even ask who I am. Then why don't I ask a different question instead? If you must, don't let me stop you. Usually, do you have family? A traditional family, no, but I have some close to me, if that's what you mean. Would you not consider them family? I would. But that partnership was founded in a different time, and unfortunately there's still many similarities between now and then. Really? So you're like a LGBTQ member, perhaps? Besides, when you become larger than yourself and people believe you are only how they sculpted you, there's a lot to lose if you betray their perception. Yeah, you're definitely gay. If I'm to interpret your meaning, isn't the artistic industry quite progressive? For an artist at his easel, yes. For a writer at a typewriter, yes. For a musician with their instrument, yes. But for any of them with a need to live, to eat, to succeed, they must be ruled by money. And the people with money, money far above my station, they do not understand the meaning of progress. So no, I suppose I don't have much family. Most of us can't afford to. I'm sorry to hear that. Would you mind if I asked another question? If you must, don't let me stop you. I feel sad for the critic. He can't live his best life. Um, and as a member of the LGBTQ community, that's sad. As a member of the LGBTQ community myself, I feel sorry for him. Usually, about the museum. Tell me about the museum. Why didn't you decide to visit it today? Oh, the curator practically begged me to come in and write about it in one of my columns. I visited before many years ago, and the article I wrote back then was an unbelievable success. Although, considering the terrible fate before us, I don't know that anything I write would speak highly enough. You mean the murder museum heist, is that it? Huh. No, detective. I'm talking about relevancy. And worse yet, the curator has resorted to committing the cardinal sin. Display of counterfeit art. It's just painful. What do you mean? That would be quite the accusation. They're duplicates, simple as that. How else could one acquire such a diverse catalogue? In fact, I've already noticed two. And well, when there's two, there must be a third. That's just proper writing, detective. Right, well then let's carry on, yes. Fakes, eh? If you must, don't let me stop you. Can you tell me what these fakes are? I'll give you this one for free, detective. What were you doing? As you do in a museum, I was taking my jolly good time looking over the many exhibits, along with the old timer. When we made our way into the sculpture gallery, I decided to strike up a conversation with the guide. Of course, I can resist an expert discussion, The old-timer has far less patience for that sort of gallivanting, so I took off upstairs. Perhaps I shouldn't have let him go off on his way on his own. I don't know what it was that they argued about, but it must have struck a nerve. I think that's when our evening started to go south. Is that so? I've got more questions then. If you must, don't let me stop you. Alright, what happened? There isn't much to say on this topic, but I suppose it began with the old-timers argument upstairs. Sounded like it was in the fine art gallery. I started moving that way, but when I was there, I heard a blunt slam. I'd hoped that the argument didn't turn violent, but I was quickly losing faith in that theory. Before I knew it, there was that wretched bang. A gunshot, with glass shattering not long after. I was concerned for the well-being of the old-timer, so I continued outward toward the balcony about after him. By then, the brawl had concluded. The old-timer was clearly worn out, so he was breathing heavily, and had a couple of scrapes, but he seemed okay. I shoved him back into the fine art gallery, and tried to ignore the rest of the cacophony below. It calmed down soon after, and now you're here. Yes, here I am. Why don't we continue the investigation, shall we? Well, we won't. We will not, because I'm going to go out to the gallery. So far, my thoughts about the case are that the gunshot and the glass breaking, even though they happen one after the other, clearly don't add up, right? Because the gunshot happened up here, and the glass breaking happened down here. In the, well, not even down here, in the other thing, the other room. A lot of blood splattered here as well. What happened? Is this blood? The plaque reads Composition 7 by Vasily Kangurinsky. His early artist can perfectly capture the mystique of a grand piano falling from the window and onto the sidewalk. Well, I forgot to do my voice for a minute. To be fair, it is hitting my cheeks, so maybe I will stop doing it. Oh, even more art. So here the punk came and then fell down here. So we've got ourselves a little mystery here. This is clearly important to a case, so what should I investigate? The exhibit placard. The placard reads miniaturized statue circa 1300, so that fell off and caused the thing to break, okay. Another victim in this odd culmination of crimes, unfortunately. And let me investigate the crime scene. The blood trail leads here and over the edge of the balcony. It's dashed across the exhibit podium as well. The podium looks like it's been pushed askew as well, and the art piece is missing. Stanchions are unlashed, presumably by force, considering the perilous angle. The victim is visible lying on the floor below. They are lightly disoriented and stumbled backwards to their demise. That's all there is to find now. For now at least. Find here for now at least. Blah, 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 blah. That's my thoughts about speaking. I can't speak today. Why am I so negative to myself today? I like this one. What's this? Let's get some teats. The plaque reads Taurus figurine discovered in Northern Europe and Asia. Am I blushing? I feel like I'm blushing. And just because you're seeing teats, calm yourself down, man. Nothing sexual about that. Oh, is this a map of the world? Perhaps. The plaque reads Ammonoid fossil discovered in Northern Europe. Ah, yes, the golden ratio of the Fibonacci scheme, logarithmic spiral, Jojo, Lord Helix. Pokemon reference, universal constant, mortalizing spell. Actually, it's just a, what is it called? I can't remember. You just said it as well. My brain, man, my brain. My poor brain. So the blood continues over here. So this must be where the fighting originally happened. This is pushed over as well. Another shocking aspect to the case unfolding in front of us. This is where the blood trail begins, considering the impact on the wall. If this is where the two guests fought, that impact is a likely result. With enough force, that would explain the crooked painting. Whatever happened, it's clear the conflict continued onward, but I'll have to keep investigating to learn more. Okay. And what happened to the Venus de Milo here? The Hatching of the Venus by Sandra Bonobocelli. The legend says that she was born from a great scallop shell, but for avian folk, I suppose that's not terribly far off from the typical egg. Alright, it's a duck. So that does make sense. The kangaroos? Ooh. But a lot of read on this one. The plaque reads Two Days Within Me by Frida Kahlo. I never knew Gerfolk could do something like this anatomically. Oh no, wait, it's symbolic. That's on me. Yes, two hearts connected as one. I see. There's the Marilyn Monroe by what's his name? The oh, what is his name? God, my brain not working. Um, let's go chat with the other people, shall we? Before my brain fries. No, come on, brain, come on, you got this. He did the Campbell soup cans, which might be also in here. What do we got here? I'm finding out so much about art. Gold blindfold on marble bust by an unknown artist. Man with golden eyes. Is this a reference to that spy thriller? I'm babooned. James babooned. Ha, what a classic. Babooned. Ah, plaque reads Stone Swirl by an unknown artist. Looks like a Tonga. Tonga. Um which is what I'm wearing on my necklace, by the way, if you look at it. That's a Tonga. Um who are you? Hello? You're the student. Greetings, I'm the detective from Feline Forensics. Well, don't let me get in your way. I'm actually here for you. What? Listen, I swear. I'm here to talk to you. Some simple questions, really. There's no need to be so nervous, unless you have a reason to be nervous. I'm innocent. I swear. I'm just talking to a cat right now. You're gonna eat me? Oh no, I was just making a joke, trying to break the tension. I've been told I am very dry, so please accept my apologies. It's okay, I accept. Thank you for questioning me, and please go about your duties. I will stay out of your way. I appreciate that, thank you. If I have any more... Wait, I haven't asked any questions yet. Oh, rats, I didn't think you realized. Fine, go ahead. Personal questions. I hate talking about myself. We really shouldn't. Who are you? Oh, you don't care about that, detective. I'm just a little mouse, nothing special. Like I said, also super innocent. I'm sure you are. So you wouldn't mind if I search your backpack, for instance? Why would you need to do that? I've stolen anything and put in my backpack, if that's what you think. Yeah, I was just kidding again. Why did you come to the museum today? I came here for a date. Okay. And then they stood me up. Is that what you want me to say? Don't you know how hard it is these days? The apps and the mixes and the socializing and the being attractive. I think you're quite attractive, young mouse. Not to mention the texting, the flirting, and the leaving the house. Oh, don't get me started on having to go outside. This dreadful detective is terrible. The only silver lining is that you can find places like this that are free to get stood up. Imagine you have to pay for that type of embarrassment. Wait. Actually, never mind. My apologies. I'm sure there's another topic we can discuss instead. Okay, detective, if you say so. What do you do? As in, what do you do for work? How do you make a living? I don't really make a living. I'm making a living getting further and further in debt. Couldn't you tell me from a distinct lack of sleep? I'm a student. Oh, I see. What are you studying? Game design. For the creativity of it, you know? And obviously the money. Yeah, there's no money in game design. Without denying that the tech industry is booming. I'm just going to keep growing and growing. Line go up. Couldn't ask for more fantastic working conditions too, but game design is not going to get you money. You need to get into unfortunately, you have to get into AI, or you have to get into software coding, or like big tech stuff. But yeah, probably AI. Couldn't ask for more fantastic working condition too. It's incredibly accessible, historically inclusive, with diversity of the child. No, I don't know. Stability? Look no further. Problematic behavior and business practice? Not here. Oh god. Literally nothing to complain about. Not a thing at all. Actually, why don't we talk about something else? Okay, detective, if you say so. I think the game creators had something or two to say about creating games. Is that important? I don't think it is. Let's not do that. Are you trying to hide that you stole the ruby from me? How far back should I go? I came in a few hours ago and started going through a few exhibits. You can skip ahead slightly. Right, of course, totally. Well, I got to the natural history series of it after a bit and started admiring all the artwork there. I could overhear what sounded like an argument. Didn't give it much thought, minding my own business, and it started to get more intense. It didn't take long to realize it had escalated further than it should have. Everything spun out of control from there. I see. We should go over those details as well. Okay, detective, if you say so. What happened? I couldn't tell what it was about, but I heard the argument upstairs was beginning to get physical. Bad things just kind of happen randomly nowadays, and better to not take any chances, you know. Got to the foyer, but that's where my suspicions were solidified. The sound of a gunshot. I pounced towards the door, and as I reached for the handle, the place went into total lockdown. I was scared, detective. I felt cornered, trapped. Did the only thing I could think of, mousetrap. I retreated into the sculpture gallery to hide until things calmed down. I almost knocked over one of my sculptures in the haste. Thankfully, it wasn't too long until everything seemed under control again. And as in control as it could be, I suppose. Let's change the topic, alright? I've got nothing further to talk to you about now. And you speak too fast. The plaque reads Nostalgia on Cathode Ray Troops by Hayao Miyazaki. Yeah, Miyazaki. Hey, I get that reference. I know that one too. Wait, and that one. So, Hayao Miyazaki. I didn't know that he made a little artwork like that. That's cool. Should do some investigation. This one's in Japan as well, I know that. Got by Yayoi Kazuana. It's on a island, which I'd like to say is called Miyazaki, but I know it's not. It's the one that Ludwig thought was Miyazaki in Tip to Tip. Watch Tip to Tip. I've never been a big God fan. Are they supposed to look this diseased? In this one looks like a one made by a New Zealand artist. I'm pretty sure I've seen it before. Petals of Metal circa 1900. An old friend from Newport City has something like this hanging in his flat. It looked a bit tacky there too. The plaque reads Middle Angles by an unknown artist. Just looks like they dropped a bunch of cutlery in the garbage disposal, and that is a compliment. I like this one particularly. This is probably my favorite. I don't know who did it, but do you know what it reminds me of? Reminds me of, there's this farm in New Zealand, and it's got a whole bunch of artwork. And I think that this is one of the artwork they would display there if they could, but they don't have this one. Anyway, maybe I'll put a picture up and edit if I can think of that. Greetings, detective. Boy, I'm glad you're here, the guide. Glad to be here, although not necessarily under these circumstances. Happy to help nonetheless. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be much help. I'm a bit of an anxious rabbit, you see. Oh, that's okay. We can work through it slowly, with whatever information we have. Well, that's quite a relief. I know a lot about being a guide. I'm afraid I just don't hold up under pressure. Yeah, it is what it is, right? Of course, I'll need to ask a lot of questions. I can't leave any stone unturned, but let me know if it becomes too much. That sounds like a great plan, detective. Great, let's get to it if you're ready. Sure thing, detective. Oh, the detective is really good with talking with anxious people. Whatever you need. Gosh, I don't tend to talk about myself much. After a few years, I'm still the museum's newest employee, but I've been into art history for a long time. Interesting, and how do you spend your free time? Oh, nothing super exciting. I have a sweet tooth, so I bake a bunch. Enjoy a good period drama. I read when I can. What else? Considering your line of work, you never pursued the arts? Gosh, no. I mean, did I try watercolor once or twice? Yeah, but it was bad. Bad. That's how I feel about my art as well, my friend. Don't get me started on my charcoals and oil pastels I have sitting in my closet. Bit of an impulse. Obviously, I still study art a lot, but no. Never really feel like making much. It's definitely not for everyone, including myself. Should we change the topic then? Sure thing, detective. Can you tell me about what you do? I'm the current leader of education and guest relations here at the museum. The visitors have questions that they want to talk. I'm their buddy. Aside from that, I'm also the youngest member of the team, so I try to manage our marketing and outreach. The curator and the guide don't really understand social media, you know? Nowadays, though, that's my least favorite part of the job. The internet can be a cruel place. I don't envy you in the least. Folks make fair points, like about our exhibits, but they don't really understand how any of it works. They don't like that we keep art from cultures that aren't ours, and I don't disagree with them. That's a bit racist, don't you think? Lots of people might never be exposed to those other cultures if we did. I don't know, it's complicated. Most of the world is these days. Why don't we discuss another point? I wouldn't agree with the racists, my good bunny friend. Sure thing, detective. I mean, you are a white rabbit. Just the most straw-graining corporate office work. Went to school for business, whatever that means. In retrospect, it felt like a bit of a scam. It's not like I was passionate about any of it, but it was safe, or so they said. Are you passionate about what you do now? Absolutely. I wouldn't change a thing, at least not a major thing, right? Huh. Sure, there are bigger museums and better play, but I used to think about that kind of thing way too much. I like the people here, I trust them, and they appreciate me. I get to inspire people's passions. Can't ask for more than that, I suppose. I don't want to ask more questions, though, if that's okay. Sure thing, Detective. I'll try my best. Before everything started to unravel, I was going about a normal day's business. More specifically, I was answering questions and offering tours to the various guests, but with varying success. That's not totally weird or anything, but the critic was the first to really engage at all. He had some questions about a sculpture, but he started questioning my qualifications. Any particular reason for the change in topic? Maybe it was a distraction. We could overhear the old timers shouting upstairs, but eventually he went upstairs to go check on them anyways. I figured it would dispute itself and they'd come back down, so I went into antiquities hoping I could escort them out for causing trouble. That didn't go as planned, unfortunately. I can see that. How about we discuss what happened next? Sure thing, Detective. About the critic. You said that we're asking you some personal questions, but you described it as only a debate between experts. Well, I did say questions, but there were more challenges. Did it feel like perhaps they had an ulterior motive? You mentioned the possibility it could have been a distraction. I don't think he had a goal. It was just being a curmudgeonly old man. That sounds rude, but true. It is true, yeah, the critic is terrible. Um, though, I do feel sorry for him because he can't live his true life. That isn't anything new, so I guess I didn't think too much of it. Not until, well, you know the rest by now. I do, yes. Thanks for clarifying that. Maybe we should clear up a few other things. Shall think, Detective. Actually, I do want to talk to you more. What happened? Honestly, it all felt very sudden. I don't really remember what happened. After everything had sort of resolved or calmed down, curator says someone had shot a gun in the museum. That sounds like a pretty difficult detail to miss with how loud it would have been against all these marble walls. Yeah, the noise. I think that is what sent me into shock. The next thing I remember was the curator's voice breaking through this haze. They were trying to get me to do my breathing exercises, and when I was responsible enough, they left to call the police. But I kept thinking that if the curator hadn't prioritized me, maybe the diamond wouldn't have been stolen. I think the diamond case broke when the mini Moai statue fell through. You shouldn't feel guilty, as naturally the curator will be concerned for you, especially over some priceless rock. A rock that, as far as we know, is still around here somewhere, and I'll find it. I guess you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, thanks, Detective. Don't worry about it. Let's talk something else, okay? Sure thing, Detective. Let's have a look at this rock while we're here. Yeah, well, you can definitely tell it's a Moai statue. Let's have a look at all sides. Oh, there's something in it over here. Is this the rock, perhaps? Yes. Um, the console controller vibrates a bit when you've got it as well, so... Oh, of course, I knew there was something else here. Well, it might have broken further in the fall. It would certainly destroy prior. Assuming at least that this is the flame trip of some ammunition. I wonder where the casing is hidden. Finding that could help me track down the murder weapon. Or we could go back upstairs and have a look at that. But I've got more people to look at it. And let's read this. A fragment of an art piece carved from stone and depicting the facial structure of an ancient species. They believe that the largest versions were used as symbolic and ritualistic monuments. Despite their durability, there are not many still in existence, especially at this size. And now, unfortunately, there's one less. It says the bullet struck the piece, breaking it into several segments. That's knocked it from the balcony where it became fractured further. Such a shame. And we've got the pills, a small collection of items that once belonged to the victim prior to his demise. Requisitioned from the podcaster, it's a fairly normal set of possessions, including a receipt for admission to the museum, a business card, and a bottle of medication. If I want to learn more, I should start by closely examining what I have, then ask around for other insights from the various guests. The business card advertises a true crime podcast, presumably given to the victim by the podcaster. Also, the other thing that I wanted to mention with this receipt is that the student said that he got it for free, but with the actual price is what? $25? It's quite expensive for a museum exhibition, but I suppose that they are failing, so... Oh, of course, I knew there was something else here. This receipt, why would he have paid twice? As far as I'm aware, he didn't come in with anyone, right? Since I can't question him directly, I have to ask around some more. Oh, he paid for admission twice. So that might be how the student got in. Let's have another chat with the student, eh? Every time you say that, I get a little less confident you're telling the truth. Let's get to the question. Can I ask about anything to you? Yeah, no. But you are being very suspicious, my good friend. But what's our time? 1:20. Okay, sweet. Okay. Gonna get some dinner after this. I'm excited. Not that that's really relevant to the game, but you know, I thought I'll let you know. Oh, greetings. Hello, I'm the detective tending to this case. This is the artist, by the way. I am aware from this. You're from Feline Forensics. Yes, I am. Good if you're familiar. Do you mind? You may. Ask me a few questions, that is. First of all, how did you know about me? Was it the tie? I tend to go with something more neutral, professional, insightful even. Maybe it's my suit. The shoulders are very padded. Is it the suit? Too private eye? Or is not the tie, detective? So, it was the suit. It was also not the suit. I'm just aware of you, generally speaking. Good marketing, perhaps. And besides, I simply prefer to be unaware. An artist must observe the world. I hope that proves useful. Let's begin. Whatever it takes, detective. Personal questions. I will provide answers, detective. I regret to inform you, detective, who I am is not important. I am unimportant. I wouldn't necessarily say that, my good friend. In the grand scheme of things, as it pertains to the situation around us, those details will not bring you closer to case closed. Then why don't you humor me, as if I was asking as a stranger, not the detective? I'm a washed-up failure of a creative amphibian. As soon as I had hands, my parents couldn't keep enough paper in the house. I'd hoard every marker and paint I could find. Clay was my best friend. My imagination was insatiable, so I didn't have time for anyone or anything else. Well, that's become southern now. I just started with something. That doesn't sound like a failure to me. Insatiable may beget insperity, but it doesn't equate to talent. Is that a sufficient answer, detective? Maybe I'll do that. Indeed, I hope you don't mind answering some other questions for me. Whatever it takes, detective. What do you do? Since my art career became an artifact of the past, I found myself in several professions. Nowadays, I work under a contract agency. Didn't have me doing temporary work placements, but many placements are undesirable, unfortunately, but it pays the bills and I can keep a fair bit of time to myself. You still create art in that time? Yes. I don't believe I could ever truly give it up, but inspiration strikes less frequently. That's why I've decided to come to the museum today. And did you find something inspiring? I believe I have, but time will tell. The paint must dry, as they say. You got a lot of space paint all over you. Why was that? They do say that, don't they? On to the next question, then. Whatever it takes, detective. Alrighty, about that paint. I'm sure you're aware, but why are you so covered in paint? This is my favorite coat. Are you suggesting that just because I got some paint on it, that suddenly means it can no longer be a coat? It was a bit cold today. I needed to wear a coat. I am not warm-blooded, detective. Do you want me to be cold? I didn't say that, no. Besides, it makes the coat more unique. No one in the whole world has this coat but me. I can see the allure in something like that. Would you say you strive to stand out? Not really. I think most people do, myself included, and yet I frequently feel invisible, as if people just don't see me, even if I'm standing right here. That makes one feel quite lonely, to say the least. Forgotten. I like that voice a lot. My apologies, I've strayed from your inquiry. Don't worry about it. Not at all. Shall we discuss another topic? Whatever it takes, Detective. About today's events. I remember them well. What were you doing? I hate to break it to you, but my pride behavior has little impact on the case. I was just wandering around the various exhibits, observing. Specifically, I was counting the bones of those hanging skeletons from the Natural History exhibit's balcony. Then again, I did spend some time in the courtyard balcony as well, mesmerized by the pendulum's colorful sway. Considering my proximity to the fine art gallery, I opened the argument as began, and I departed the upper floor. I got that all written down now, so thank you. I'm going to ask another question. Whatever it takes, Detective. About today's events. What happened? Certainly, I began with the argument. I was nearby and didn't want to get involved. By the time I made it to the lower courtyard, I heard the gunshot. Naturally, I attempted to make my way out of the museum entirely, but the guard came hastily through the room and bumped into me. I eventually got through and made my way to the foyer. Unfortunately, the door was already locked down. I imagine it was a result of the alarm being tripped. The museum has a sophisticated security system, it seems. And there wasn't anyone else around? Initially, no. When the tourists arrived from behind me, I told them that we were stuck. Even when the curator came back, they refused to open the door. The tourists passionately opposed their decision, but eventually stood down. We waited in our respective exhibits until you arrived. Thank you for the detailed recount. Let's discuss something else. If it takes, Detective. That's all. That's all for now. Let's have a look at our other little pieces of paper, shall we? Pause for alarm. Yes, the museum did recall hearing the alarm, but I should continue to learn more. While discussing the solemn drill with the guard, he mentioned the state-of-the-art security system. While so conceptually poor, he was glad to know that it actually worked. Missing gemstone. The curator's primary and only concern was identifying the culprit behind the attempted heist of the incredibly valuable diamond from the museum's natural history exhibit. It seems that the thief took destructive measures to steal the jewel, or did they? Apparently, the museum is equipped with a state-of-the-art security system which would likely provide more concrete information about what happened here. And is there a way I could access the security system's data? Maybe not, but it's worth looking into. Finally, the murder guest, well, not finally, knocked over stanchions and crooked exhibits make it seem likely that the victim likely fell from above the scene. Initial investigations have revealed quite a complex crime scene, including the victim, a broken display case, several large-sized pieces, and one first-hand witness. As it turns out, the victim did have several things on him, including a receipt for when he paid the admission fee. But why did he pay for two if he came alone? Embedded within one of the broken statue pieces was the tip of a fired bullet. I've taken the old-timer's initial statements, which included arguments and altercations he had with the victim. They weren't the most forthcoming, so I should assume there's plenty of details conveniently omitted. I will need to collect more evidence before I press them further. I am meeting our suspects. Upon entering the museum, I was greeted by the curator who gave me an overview of the incident that occurred just hours before. I should inquire with them for more specific detail, but I also need to speak with everyone else who was present. The museum doesn't employ more than two people, the guard and the guide, not including the curator, of course. One current attendee is a true crime enthusiast, the podcaster, just as eccentric as they are suspicious. Snooty, I like the drawings. Snooty and self-indulgent, the critic and the old-timer are quite the duo. It seems they're in attendance together. And not a pair of socialites, the artists and the students each give off quite odd yet different first impressions. I would certainly agree with that. Have we gone this way yet? I think we have, right? This is the other... Oh, this is the prehistoric room. Yes. There's a Vishnu there. Is that Vishnu? I do not know. I've already been up here. We can re-talk to the curator here. You have yet to acquire new attire. I do not approve. Apologies, but that's not what I'm here to discuss. Okay, about the old-timer. I've taken down both of your testimonies, but there's a specific detail here that doesn't line up. The old-timer claimed he came away from the ball entirely unscathed, but that is not accurate to your remarks. Why? This might be the easiest explanation we'll receive today, Detective. Are you familiar with fragile masculinity? We've known each other for a long, long time. When I say he's improved, I mean it, but there are things that still get under his fur. Whatever this helps or hinders your perception of his motives, I doubt he even second guess a lie like that. You speak of it as if you know him quite well. Intimately, some might say. Ooh. Understood. I think I have some other inquiries to make before I move on. Well, nothing from you, but am I able to talk to the old timer about anything else? No. I want to go down to the, not the room with the pig. The pig room, as it were. Right button here to prevent we knock into things, push them off. Now I'm getting into the true cat thing, aren't I? Okay, this just goes back up. How do we get to that other location? Already had a look at these. We've got nothing more to talk to them about. Aha, here it is, the courtyard exhibit. We've got this duck here. Not duck, pig. But before I do that, what's my... Oh my god, we've got so much information. Maybe I'll cover all of this in the next episode. Because, yeah, that's a lot, isn't it? We got one thing from the punk and one thing from the old timer that we can investigate. And I know the answer for the punk right now. So let's have a look at that. Enter the museum alone and begin touring the natural exhibits. Various exhibits starting in the natural history exhibit. This is wrong. We know from this evidence, the receipt, that he actually attended with 2 people. Ah, I see, that makes sense. As far as I can tell, he did enter alone, but with one extra detail. He paid enough admission for 2. Anyone would assume this is just an act of kindness, but can we claim that for certain? No, the student came in with it. But with that, let's have a look at the other one as well, just quickly, before we end the episode. The other one was the wolf, the old timer, wasn't it? Yes. With the punk presumably subdued, the old timer retreated back into the fine art gallery, where he assumed the critic that he was perfectly unharmed. Well, that's not true from what the curator said. Not the curator, sorry. Right. Let us get back to that. It's not true based on what the critic said. The critic. Ah, I see, that makes sense. It's no surprise that the old timer wanted to keep up his manly image. But as we can tell what the critic told us, even the old timer was a little shaken following his bout with the punk. And injured. But is that where we'll leave it today? Perhaps. Okay, so that just goes directly to the courtyard. So the map in my head is becoming a little bit more interesting. Earlier tonight, though. Led by the blank, the museum staff. Led by the curator. There we go. The museum, the musée staff. Also included the loyal. This will be the guard. And the knowledgeable guide. There we go. That should lock in, right? Someone blank stole. Stole. Do we have stole? Or grabbed? No. Okay, so we've still got way more words to be able to unlock. But yeah, we'll do that. Ooh, quite nice little hypnotic. Anyway, I'm getting distracted as usual. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to press the like button or subscribe or comment even. And I'll see you in the next one. See ya. Bye.